So, welcome everyone. Welcome to this revision session where we are going to revise internal audit. One of the very important topics of CA final, and trust me, it is a very simple and scoring topic for your exams. In this revision, our target will be not only to revise the concepts, but also the techniques to learn them properly and at the same time solve the good case study based questions of ICI. So are you people ready? Yes sir, we are ready. In this revision, we are also going to refer our board notes. These board notes are available on the Telegram channel. So do join the Telegram channel from the link in description. There you can download the board notes. Okay sir. So without much ado, let's begin with the revision. Do give it a like so that it can reach out to more students who want such type of audit revisions in English. Okay sir. So let's talk about internal audit. In simplistic terms, you can say this is the audit of internal controls. Now, what is an audit? We all know audit is an independent assurance on the internal controls, means on the effectiveness of internal control and risk management system. What is a risk management? For every risk, you put a control. So when you put the control to manage the risk, this is called risk management system. So independent assurance on the effectiveness of control and risk management system. Now, when the controls are there, the functioning will be proper. So it will enhance the governance and achieve the organization objectives. So these are the 3 points that you need to understand. Independent assurance on the effectiveness of controls and risk management system. When the controls are proper, functioning will be proper, so it will enhance the governance and achieve the organization objective. Example of risk management, this is given, you can just read it. If there is a risk that the entity will purchase at a price which is very high, okay, so they can put a control that they should take quotations before the purchase. Okay, so this is what risk management is all about. So this definition you should learn properly. Now we discussed an important topic which talks about objective and scope of internal audit. What is the objective and scope? First of all, he has to evaluate the internal controls, monitor the internal control. Now with every objective, we have discussed some examples given in your study material. Okay, sir. Monitoring of internal control, first example is the internal control which talks about the three-way check. Three-way match means purchase order, invoice, goods receipt note. Whatever is the quantity in the purchase order, it should match with the invoice. It should match with the goods which are received. Now, sir, this three-way match should be done before approving any vendor payment so that you are making the payment only for the goods which are actually received. Okay, sir. Then, sir, for monitoring the control, you need to examine some information. Which information? Not only the financial information, but also the operating information. Now, how to talk about this operating information? So another example says, when you want to check the accuracy of sale, 3 informations you can check. Sir, what are the 3 information? Please focus on the board. Sales records, delivery records, sales commission. So once you do the sale, then you check whether the goods were delivered. After they were delivered, whether you release the sales commission. So just go in a flow. So sales records is a financial information, delivery records is a operating information, and sales commission is another financial information. Then you talk about review of operating activities. So after operating information, next point is operating activities. Activities related to inventory management, inventory handling. If you do proper handling, it will prevent the damages of inventory. Okay, sir. Then review the compliance with laws and regulations. So example, new tax laws compliance. Then the risk management of complex financial instruments. So you can use futures and options for hedging the risk. And lastly, governance. Governance means proper functioning. So entity should function in an ethical manner and follow proper values. So they should function in an ethical manner and proper values should be there. So these are the points of objectives and scope of internal audit. So what are the objective and scope? Sir, like we say, Merry Christmas, here we are having Merry Governance. What do you mean by sir Merry Governance? M for monitoring the controls, E for examining financial as well as operating information. Next point is also related to operating. R for review of operating activities, compliance with laws and regulation. Acha, am I complying with laws regulation? No. You are reviewing the compliance with laws regulation. RI for risk management and governance means achieving the objectives of ethics and values. Examples are also very easy. Purchase example, sales example, inventory example, tax laws for laws and regulations, risk of financial instruments, and governance mein focus is on ethics and values. Are the 5 points clear? Yes, sir. Now please come to your book. These are the 5 points that you will find here also. Then we discussed about the applicability of internal audit. Please tell me where the internal audit is applicable. Sir, this we studied in CA Inter. As per section 138 of Companies Act 2013, read with rule 13 of Companies Accounts Rule 2014. Internal audit is first of all applicable on listed companies. Then in case of unlisted public company, the limits are very simple: 25, 50, 100, 200, 2 table. 25 to the 50, 50 to the 100, 100 to the 200. Then you see the figures of DPBT. Sir, what is DPBT? D for deposits, P for paid up share capital, B for borrowings, and T for turnover. So this is the flow that you need to consider. Now, sir, in this deposits के लिए you need to consider the limit anytime during the year. So if anytime during the year deposits are more than equal to 25 crore, internal audit will be applicable. In case of borrowings, again, if any time during the year the borrowings are exceeding 100 crore, the internal audit will be applicable. And these limits need to be seen in the preceding financial year. If I talk about the private company, it is the easiest. You just need to consider the limits of 100 crore and 200 crore. That is BT, that is the borrowings and turnover. That's it, sir. Borrowing has the speciality here, only you see the exceeding part, not greater than equal to. Okay, sir. Ignore this example, not relevant. Now, sir, ICAI has given this illustration in the book. Everyone, please focus. If in the preceding financial year the turnover is 260 crore, is the internal audit applicable? Yes, internal audit will be applicable because the turnover is greater than equal to 200 crore. So it is a private limited company. Two conditions need to be checked: 100 crore and 200 crore. So because it is satisfying the limit of turnover, internal audit will be applicable for the year. Then we discussed the concept, who can be the internal auditor? I said anyone. Anyone who has the relevant experience can become the internal auditor. Sir, anyone means you can be an individual firm or body corporate. You can be a chartered accountant or a cost accountant, in practice or not in practice, or any other professional, does not matter, as may be decided by the board. And lastly, you may be or may not be the employee of the company. It does not matter. Okay, sir. Then we have an example. A private limited company having the loans and borrowings from banks greater than 100 crore. Is internal audit applicable? Yes, sir. This must be in the preceding financial year. They want to appoint Mr. X, a practicing cost accountant, as internal auditor. So I said anyone can become an internal auditor who has relevant experience. So yes, the appointment is valid. Are these basics clear to all of you? Come on. Yes, sir. Now let's understand the next topic. Critical activities performed by internal audit function. I said critical activities. What are these? Sir, these are basically the internal audit work in the whole quarter. What are the internal audit department going to do in the whole quarter? This is what we are going to discuss in this topic. Are you people ready? Yes, sir. Take 2 sips of water, then we will discuss. Awesome. So everyone, please focus on the board so that the flow is clear in your mind. So first of all, what you have to do is define the plan, how you are going to do the things, then your scope, what activities you are going to cover, and the methodology, how you are going to cover those activities on a periodic basis. So this is generally done on a quarterly basis. Quarterly plans are made, quarterly scope is decided, what activities to be done and how those activities are to be done. Then that scope is divided into assignments: assignment 1, assignment 2, assignment 3, assignment 4. So the next point talks about monitor the audit assignments. Now, sir, like everything here also the same thing works. Planning, execution. After execution, whenever you find the issues, you just report the issues and help the entity close them. Help the entity close them by providing the internal controls. Okay, sir. Now the question comes, who will do the audit assignments? So this assignment will be done by your staff. This assignment will be done by your staff. So staff, talent and other resources. Now when I want to do the assignment, I will plan how much staff I need. Then I will acquire them. Then I will engage them on the assignment. Then I will review their performance. If their performance is not proper, I will train them and help them develop. So just go in a flow. Plan, acquire, engage, review, and after reviewing, provide them the necessary training and development to your staff, talent and other resources. Let's say internal auditor got a work of some automation. So is the automation done by chartered accountant? No, we need external experts and technical solution. So again, identify them, source them, engage them and manage them. So identify, source, engage and manage the external experts and technical solution. And lastly, whatever progress you have achieved, whatever objectives you have achieved, this should be communicated to the key stakeholders, that is the audit committee or the CFO. So just go in a proper flow. What is the flow? Scope, plan, scope, and methodology for a particular quarter. Then dividing the scope in the assignments. You plan the assignment, you execute the assignment. Whatever issues you identified, you report them and help in closing the issue. Who will do the assignment? Your own staff, external experts. And lastly, you communicate your progress and the objectives achieved. Clear, boss? Clear, sir. This is the same thing you will find in your book. Everyone read. Let's revise from the book. Revision in the revision. First thing is, everyone please focus here. Overall plan, scope, methodology. This should be done on a periodic basis. Now let's divide the scope into the assignments, monitor the assignments, planning, execution, reporting, and closure of the issues. Clear? Clear, sir. Assignment will be done by your own staff, talent, and other resources. So again, you should plan them, acquire them, engage, review their work, give them necessary training and development. The more you go conceptually from one point to another, easier you will find it. Then, sir, talking about the experts and technical solutions. How to do them? Sir, we will source them, engage, identify them, source them, engage them, and manage them. Okay, sir. And then we communicate to all the key stakeholders our progress and objectives achieved. Easy peasy? Easy, sir. Then we move to the next topic. Main responsibilities of internal auditor with respect to accounting function and financial records. Now, sir, what is the main responsibility of internal auditor? Please tell me, everyone. What is the main responsibility? Sir, to maintain adequate internal control system. We need to maintain adequate internal control system. We need to check whether the internal control systems are proper or not. So maintain internal control system by examining. Question is about what? Responsibility with respect to accounting function and financial records. So relate this with internal control system. So by examining, accounting function means accounting procedure. Financial records means receipts and disbursement, also safeguarding of assets. Okay, sir. Now when I am checking the accounting procedure, what example did I give you? Sir, sometimes when we are idle, our moms give us a work. What is the work? They give us a bowl of peas and ask us to do that. They ask us to peel the peas and all. So similarly, this can happen with the internal auditor also. He is sitting idle with the accounting staff, and accounting staff tells him, "Yaar, we have so many journal entries. You also pass one of them. So Baba, stay alert. You cannot involve yourself in the executive function. You cannot pass the accounting entry. So operate independently of the accounting staff. Don't involve yourself in accounting function. Maintain the objectivity." So, sir, what to do? Stay far, stay near. Say with me. Stay far, stay near. Say far means just stand far and observe the facts and situations in the accounting areas and bring them to the notice of authorities who would otherwise never know them. So if you find any deficiencies in the accounting system, report them to the higher authorities. Okay, sir. Sir, we should be near to whom? Stay close with the management so that you can keep your knowledge up to date. What are the processes going on? What are the changes in the functions? This will help you to keep your knowledge up to date. Okay, sir. And last, just maintain this conclusion that all times you must be independent. So this is a sweet short flow that you need to keep in your mind. Everyone please focus. See, understanding the concept is easy, but knowing the flow will help you fetch marks in the exams. Okay. So responsibilities, internal control system. Relating to accounting function and financial records, examining the accounting procedures, receipts and disbursements, safeguarding of assets. But stay alert that you need to be independent of the staff. Don't involve yourself in the executive function. So what to do? Stay far, stay near. Observe the facts and situation, bring them to the notice of authority. Near means associate closely with the management, keep the knowledge up to date about the entity, and at all times must be independent. Okay, so these are the same points that you will find here. Acha, did we do a question on this? Yes, sir. There was a question number, I think there was a question number 3. If you look at question 3, just read the last line, RTP November 24. What are the responsibilities of internal auditor with respect to accounting function and financial records? So main responsibility wala, these points you need to consider. Adequate system of internal control, examining the accounting procedure, receipts and disbursements, safeguarding of assets. Now recall the points. ठीक है? Now start recalling the points. What was the second point? Operate independently of the accounting staff and do not divest from the responsibility, means stay invested in your responsibility. Don't involve yourself in executive functions. Maintain objectivity. Okay, sir. What to do? Far and near. Stay far and observe the facts and situation. Bring them to the notice of authorities who would otherwise never know them. Stay close with the management. Close means, yeah, this level of closeness. So maintain closeness with the management, keep the knowledge up to date so that you get to know what are the events and occurrences and change in the policies. And lastly, enjoy a independent status. Is this whole answer now clear? Yes or no? Yes, sir. Very good. Then, sir, we move to the next topic. What was the next topic? Approach to develop an internal audit plan. So the approach should be not only cover the financial areas, but also the non-financial areas, operational areas. So you should cover the processes involving both financial and operational activities. What to consider while developing the plan? It should cover everything. Cover means coverage of all the auditable areas and the time range, account, sales, purchases, all the areas should be covered. V for value. What value I can create for the organization? I can help them mitigate the risk. E for creating the value, there will be effort involved. So effort involved in providing the internal audit functions. Then, sir, RR for risk in the process and risk appetite of the organization. So these are the points you need to consider. Clear, boss? Clear, sir. There is a direct question on this again in the question bank. Sir, which question? Question number 4. Mr. A has to prepare the internal audit plan for the next year. What should be his approach? So he should cover both financial and operational activities and cover everything. Last time, coverage of all the auditable areas. V for value to be added by him. E for efforts to add the value. Then, sir, you talk about what thing? RR, risk in the process and the risk appetite of the organization. Clear, boss? Clear, sir. Then, sir, we move to the next topic, scope of internal audit work, which includes the review of internal control system. So first of all, assess the design and operating efficiency of the internal control. Then, sir, you can help them reduce the risk by suggesting the control. What is the first control suggestion we discussed? Three-way match. Three-way match means whatever is the quantity in purchase order, match it with the invoice and match it with the GRN. If you have ordered 100, invoiced 100, but received quantity is 80 and the GRN process is missing, what it can lead to? It can lead to over invoicing because 100 quantity is invoiced, received is only 80. So it is leading to over invoicing. Plus this over invoicing will lead to overpayment, and this is a case of under receipt of goods. So this is the first example given here. Then, sir, second point, controls should be inbuilt in the operating functions to make it cost effective. Another example of ICI. So it says control should be inbuilt in the function to make it cost effective. So for example, I want to set a customer credit limit. I have two options. Either I keep a separate credit control department, which will be very costly, or in the sales and accounting system, I can have controls inbuilt which consider the past history of the customer, past details of the customer, and set that credit limit automatically. When such type of things are automated, it saves the cost for the entity. So always remember, controls when inbuilt in the system, they save the cost. They are more cost effective. Okay, sir. This example also done. And the last point says sometimes there are limitation of control like cost benefit. We evaluate what is the cost of control and what is the benefit. Human errors and collusion. What is the example of collusion? Let's discuss that also. So let's say there are three people: payment authorizer, payment maker, and related party. Even though there is a segregation of duty, they can evade the controls. How? Through collusion. So if these three people get together, they can make high payments to the related party and it can lead to misappropriation of the funds of the entity. So collusion is one of the limitation of control when the people who are a part of the control, they come together to evade the controls. Okay. Okay, sir. So this is all about the first point. So you can just read through these 3 points. That's all that you need to do. Then we discussed custodianship and safeguarding of asset. Custodianship means physically keeping the assets safe with yourself. So verify that all the assets exist. Whatever assets exist, they are accounted. There should be segregation of duties, authorization person should be different, execution, physical custody records, all should be done by a different person. Then see the controls related to intangible assets, like procedures for credit control. I don't know how these 2 points are related, but they have kept it together. So we have also kept it like this. Just read through this part. Then sir, policies, procedures, plans, regulations, see whether there are any weakness. If yes, suggest the remedial action to improve these policies. Then sir, reliability of information depends on the information system, whether it is giving accurate and reliable information. Then see whether any reporting by exception. Reporting by exception means in the report you are showing the cases where internal controls were not followed. Okay, so see whether such reporting are there, and if yes, it should have significant and distinctive feature. Again, a point you can just take a read. Now comes the important point, review of organization structure. Take 2 sips of water and get ready. Yes, sir. For the organization structure, you just need to have a look at this photograph. Okay, sir. Please look at the chart. First of all, you can see an organization chart of a company called Marico. Now, sir, what is happening here? There is a head office. We are talking about the finance department, which is headed by the CFO. Under the CFO, there are various finance functions, sales commercial. What is sales commercial? Deciding how much discount is to be given, how much commission is to be given. Purchase commercial, purchase finance, accounting, internal audit, mergers and acquisition, investor relation. Okay, sir. Now understand one thing. There is a person who is leading the purchase department at the head office. Now there is a branch where also there is a purchase manager. So when there are 2 people handling the purchase areas, one at the head office, one at the branch, there should not be any overlapping of activities. Okay, sir. Now the person who is heading the purchase commercial, he must be having some subordinates under him. There should be limited subordinates under a superior. This is called a span of control. This should be reasonable. Okay, sir. Then if a subordinate is having 2 responsibility, that means dual responsibility, primary one should be specified. So these are the 5 points you need to consider. The organization chart should be very simple, very economical. All the functions should be at par. No one should dominate the other. Second thing, you should be able to understand the grouping of activities, sales, purchase, accounting, internal audit, so that you can easily understand the game. Third thing, when the people at the head office and branches are there, there should not be any overlapping of the activities. Fourth point, span of control should be reasonable. And the fifth point, whenever there are dual responsibility, primary one should be specified. So these are the same points you will find here. This question was asked in November 18 exam, so need to do 5 points properly. So first of all, examine the organization chart. Structure is simple, economical. No function enjoys undue dominance, means all functions are at par. Second thing, manner in which activities are grouped. That's the same thing that we saw here. Responsibilities of the staff at headquarters, that is the head office, should not overlap with the chief executive of operating unit, that means branches. Fourth point, reasonableness of the span of control, that means number of subordinates under a superior. Unity of command, each person should report only to one superior. Wherever dual responsibility can't be avoided, primary responsibility should be specified so that the person can focus. And today's junior will become tomorrow's manager. So there should be process for managerial development. So even if you are able to cover 5 points properly, that should be enough. So if you want, you can pause the video and do the points properly. Clear everyone? Clear, sir. Then we move to the next topic, review of utilization of resources. I say review of utilization of resources. What do you hear? Sir, we hear variance analysis. We hear that it is nothing, just a topic of variance analysis, where you prepare the standards and compare the actual performance, actual utilization against the standards. So the main game here is of the standards. That means, first of all, standard should be established for efficient use of resources. Then the standard should be detailed to be identified with every operating responsibility. Every operating responsibility means utilization of machinery, utilization of cash or bank resources, utilization of human resources. All, for everything, the standard should be there. Third thing, see the method of establishing the standard. What are the assumptions made? And the last thing is, whenever any wide divergence or variations are there between the standard and actual performance, you need to consider the reasons for the same. So what are the 4 points? Standard should be established. They should be detailed. See the method of establishing the standard, and whenever there is a wide variation, analyze the reason for the same. You should analyze the reason for the same. So these are the 4 points which are given, and then we have given you example. Whenever there is underutilization of machine, it is a underutilization of resources. Unoccupied storage space, underutilization of resources. Huge cash or bank balance, that means you are not able to generate proper returns, underutilization of resources. Idle manpower or staff is doing non-productive work. Staff doing non-productive work mean a chartered accountant making a tea is utilized but still not doing a non-productive work. It is a underutilization of resources. So on this topic we did a question number 6A. What is happening in question 6A? Everyone please focus. Company is having a huge hall for gym facility which is used only for 1 to 2 days a week. Same our case, we take the gym membership, don't go to the gym. So they are also utilizing the gym only for 1 or 2 days a week. Huge balance in the company's bank account, that means they are not able to generate good returns on the balance is getting wasted. Then sir, they have taken a hall on rent for the purpose of sitting cum waiting lounge of the customer, plus downtime of 1 hour during the working hours of computers and machines. Again, the machines are not utilized properly. Internal auditor wanted to cover these matters and reported he feel it is a part of his scope. So is it a part of the scope? Yes. Review of utilization of resources is a part of the scope, but management says it is not a part of scope. So just mention the points of review of utilization of resources and then say opinion of the manager is not tenable. It is a part of his scope. So he should recommend the improvements. Good question. Very good question, sir. Then sir, accomplishment of goals and objectives. Goals should be clearly stated, attainable. In quantifiable terms, what should be the sales and profit expected? Mention it. Then there should be flexibility in the plan to permit the improvement. Just read this point. So the last 2 points that we covered, 6th point and 5th point, they are very important. Now we are focusing on the next topic, integrity, objectivity and independence. Take 2 sips of water and get ready. Yes, everyone. Integrity, objectivity, and independence. This is the same topic that we study in professional ethics. Integrity means, Shubham sir, honest and truthful. Objectivity means there should be no biasness in framing your conclusion or your opinion. You should be free from any undue influence when you are doing your work. Okay, sir. Independence should not only be in your mind, but also in your activities, in your appearance. Okay. Now, sir, how to establish objectivity and independence? Through your organization structure. So the organization structure should be such that the key personnel like CEO, CFO, CEO, they should be at the same level as the chief internal auditor of the company. Okay. Okay, sir. Lastly, let's talk about the reporting structure. Internal auditor should always report to the non-executive people so that he is free from any biasness. He is free from any undue influence. So there are 2 types of reporting, administrative reporting and functional reporting. So administrative reporting is a formality. So for formality purpose, you can report to the executive people like CEO, CFO and the administrative reporting is the, how I have written audit committee here. Just give me a moment. I think here it should be MD, CEO and CFO. I think that makes sense, right? So for formality purpose, you can report it to the executive people, that is administrative reporting can be done to the MD, CEO and CFO. But when it comes to functional reporting, that is the actual reporting, it should be done to the non-executive people, that these executive people are not doing their work properly. So this should be done to the audit committee or the board of directors. This is called functional. So functional is the actual reporting and administrative reporting is a formality wala reporting that you can do to these people. Got it? Got it, sir. Now please come to your book and let's see what are the points given. As I said, first of all, let's talk about integrity. Be honest, truthful and have high integrity. Objectivity means no undue influence should be there. Okay. Do the work in an objective manner. No biasness should be there. Then independence, not only of the mind, but also of the appearance. For this, the organization structure should be proper. Consider the position and reporting of chief internal auditor. Okay. Okay, sir. Then these examples you can just read. To avoid conflict of interest, don't review the activity for which you are previously responsible. So let's say you are handling the P2P process, that is a purchase process. So you cannot review this process of the entity. Now, sir, whatever responsibilities you are discharging, it should be properly done without any interference of the management. Listed companies के केस में internal auditor should report to the TCWGs like audit committee instead of the CEO or CFO. If there is a conflict of interest, bring it to the management's attention. Then we did a question number 6B. It is a direct question defining the reporting structure of Chief Internal Auditor. So you will say there are possible options: Board of Director, Audit Committee, MD, CEO, CFO. Then lastly, come to the direct point. To be independent, report to the Audit Committee or Board of Director. But administratively, just for the formality, you can report to the CEO or MD. But actually, you should report to the non-executive people like Audit Committee or Board of Director. So this is the main part. In between, they have just added some theory. In the theory, you need to give the definition of internal audit, who can be the internal auditor, and tell about the integrity, objectivity, and independence. So what is the definition? So this is what we covered in the beginning of the revision. Independent assurance on effectiveness of internal control and risk management system both go hand in hand. This will enhance the functioning, that is the governance, and achieve the organization objective. Who can be the internal auditor? Anyone. Chartered accountant, cost accountant, or any other professional as may be decided by the board. Objectivity means free from undue influence. Okay. No undue pressure or interference, independence of the mind and independence of the appearance. Easy peasy, easy sir. So logically ICA should have covered this part only, but because they have covered this, we have added it in additionally. Clear everyone? See, don't worry. I am there for you. I am sitting with you now. Did I say that do the question yourself? No sir. Along with the class, we are doing the questions in the revision also, so that the revision process is very comfortable for you. So why do you get worried? Take a chill pill. Baby, calm down. Calm down. Just relax. I am there now. I am there to provide a solution to everything. Just go with me in a proper flow. Okay? Okay, sir. Now, sir, the last topic that we covered in this session is qualities of internal auditor. What are the qualities? He should be properly able to evaluate the internal control system. For this, he should have knowledge of accounts and finance. Achha, not only finance, but also the operational aspects of entity. So he should understand operational performance and non-monetary control. For this, he needs to understand the technology and commercial practices, how the productions are done, how the supply chain works. Everything should be understood by him. He should have a good knowledge of your CA Inter subjects. CA Inter means commerce, laws, taxation, group 1 done. Then in the group 2, cost accounting, EDP, that is computer electronic data processing, this he should know. Plus he has to manage the assignments, so he should have an understanding of management principles and techniques. And lastly, whatever information he's collecting, he should keep it confidential. So these are the basic points which you need to consider in quality. Let's learn them properly. Focus on the board. First of all, evaluate the management control system, especially financial and accounting control. So to evaluate these control, you should have finance and accounts expertise. Not only finance, but you should also evaluate the operational performance. To evaluate the operational performance, you should understand TCP. TCP means technology and commercial practices. Say with me, technology and commercial practices. Along with TCP, learn CA Inter. CA Inter means, come on, accounts, that is commerce, laws, taxation, cost accounting, economics, and EDP system. Acha, once you have done CA Inter, give the MTP. What is the MTP, sir? Mock test paper? No. MTP means management principles and techniques. And whenever you give a MTP, keep the questions confidential. Confidential means assurance to maintain confidentiality. So this is a small fun way where you can remember all the points. Finance and accounts control, finance and account expertise. Not only finance, but also operational performance to be evaluated. So have the knowledge of TCP, technology and commercial practices. Then CA Inter, MTP, confidentiality. Okay. Okay, boss. Okay, sir. So with this, the session 1 of internal audit is done. Now we will continue with the session number 2. Now let's begin with the next topic, and the next topic talks about performing the internal audit engagement. So what are the steps of doing the internal audit engagement? That is what we are going to revise right now. Get ready, sir. So the first thing is obtaining the knowledge of the business. So like in audit, in internal audit also you take the knowledge of the business. So for this, you can do the meetings with the key stakeholders of the entity like CFO, chief operating officers and others. Then sir, they will give you some documents So understand the business documents of the entity, that is the SOPs. SOPs means standard operating procedure. Because you need to test the internal control, you need to properly understand the procedures of the entity. Purchase process, sales process, accounting process, inventory process, everything should be crystal clear to you. Okay, sir. Once you have understood the documents, now, sir, you need information. Information to do the testing. So to know how you can get the information, you need to know about the IT systems of the entity. So you need to understand the IT landscape. What are the applications they are using? What are the ERP systems they are using? Tally, SAP, Oracle. What are the ERP system? And the management information system of the organization, that is the reporting of the revenue and profits figure every 15 days, 20 days by the management. So these are the three things you can do to obtain the knowledge of the business: conduct the meetings, understand the business documents, and understand the IT landscape and ERP system. Once you have taken the knowledge of the business, then you can do the planning. अच्छा, planning के लिए just go in a proper flow. Sir, what is the flow? You will frame your plan considering the overall scope set up by the audit committee and the board of director. So they will decide what are the areas you will cover in the scope. For example, accounting area, payroll area, sales area, purchase area. What is the scope of audit? Based on the scope, evaluate the risk and control environment. Based on this, you will prepare the plan. Now the plan will be prepared by the manager, approved by chia. Sir, who is a chia? Chief Internal Auditor, that is the head of internal audit team. Now this plan that you have prepared, please share it with the key managerial persons, and in the introductory meeting, ask for the system access, because from the systems you will extract the data. So this is a small flow of the planning. Please do it properly. Consider the scope decided by audit committee and board of director. Then evaluate the risk and control environment to develop the plan. Plan is prepared by the manager, approved by the chia. Share it with the key managerial person, and in the introductory meeting, ask for the system access. Once you have got the system access, what you will do? Sir, we will gather the information. So plan and intimate in advance information needed, then obtain the information directly from the source. After this, when you have collected the information, on this information, we will do the audit checks. Audit checks means analytical procedures, sampling, evidence, documentation, and reporting. Lastly, let's discuss about the reporting wala part. In the reporting, first of all, prepare the draft report as per the scope. In this, some things will be covered in detail, some things will be excluded. Then see the period covered, that is, let's say Q1 financial year 25-26. Then in that period, what were the issues? For the issues, what were the recommendation? On the recommendation, management action plans agreed with the responsibility and timeline by when the actions will be taken. Then see the status of the action, whether implemented or unimplemented. Then circulate the final report and present to the audit committee. So just go in a flow. Scope, that means the areas covered. Then the period covered, issues, recommendations. On the recommendations, management action, status of the action, and lastly give the final report. Are these basics clear? Yes, sir. Let's revise it from the book. Get ready, everyone. Turn the radio on. Everyone, get ready. Step 1, knowledge of business and environment from the meetings with stakeholders, business document, IT landscape. Then performing the audit planning. First point, scope approved by audit committee and board of director. Second point, plan prepared after evaluating the risk and control environment. Third point, plan prepared by audit manager, approved by chia or head of internal audit. Fourth point, share the plan with the key managerial person. And the fifth point, to share the plan, you need to do a meeting and also tell the details of information and system access required. Once you get the system access, you gather the required information. So obtain the required information directly from the source. For this, planning should be done and advance intimation should be given what is the information needed. Then when you get the information, what do? We do the audit checks. Audit checks means analytical procedure to see the trends and the outliers, that is the variations. For this, analytical tools can be used. Then for sampling, select the sample. You can also do detailed audit testing as per the plan. Evidence should be collected, stored, and prepare a list of the issues and gaps where the controls are not proper. Interim reports can be issued, and lastly, documentation of work paper. These are the basics of audit. Then we discussed about reporting, draft report containing the scope, detailed coverage, exclusions, period covered, issues pe recommendation. On the recommendations, management's action, status of action, and the final report. Now, sir, let's discuss the reporting part in a little more detail with two stages reporting. Is everything till here clear to you? Yes, sir. Please take 2 sips of water and get ready for the next topic. Now, sir, what is a two stages reporting? Please focus on the board. So first of all, you need to report at the end of the assignment. Assignment means the particular area that you have covered. So I told you before that we develop a scope for entire quarter. Now, whatever scope I have developed for entire quarter, I will divide the scope into various assignments. Assignments can be assignment related to automation, assignment related to improving the controls of sales, purchases, or any other area. So at the end of assignment, you will focus on the particular area that you tested in that assignment. Okay? Okay, sir. So covering the specific area or function, in that area, what were your key observations or key findings? And the methodology, how you conducted that assignment, what was the manner of doing the assignment. Then you will give the report to the auditee, that is the audit committee, with a copy to the local management. So let's say you tested the inventory area, you will give a copy to the inventory manager. Okay? Okay, sir. So assignment wise reporting covering that particular area or function that you tested. Manner of testing. After the testing, what were the key observations or key findings you will tell, and lastly give it to the auditee. Auditee means the management for whom you were doing the audit. Okay, sir. Once you do all the assignments in a particular quarter, then you give a periodic report. So periodic report will cover a particular area or whole entity. Sir, it will cover all the areas of the entity. So it will cover the entity and the plan period, prepared by chia or engagement partner if it is an external auditor. Then it will be submitted to the audit committee, and lastly, it is generally done on a quarterly basis. Are these basics clear? Yes, sir. Then Baba, what is included in audit report? This thing we have already covered. Just that the issues wala part we are covering in a little more detail. So scope and period we discussed. Executive summary of the issues, summary of the critical findings, then discuss summary too much. Now discuss the things in detail. Detailed audit findings where you disclose the root cause of the issue, business impact of the issue. Then sir, what is the rating of the issue? High rating, medium rating or low rating? Based on that, give your recommendation. On the recommendation, see the response of the management, that is the action plan, and then what is the timeline for action, by when the action should be implemented. So this is the flow you need to consider. Scope, period. Executive summary, summary of critical findings, 2 summary points done. Now discuss in detail. Detailed audit findings, that is the root cause, business impact. Then the rating of that thing, recommendation, response, and lastly timeline for the action. Clear everyone? Yes, sir. Now, Baba, once we have discussed the internal audit report part, on this response of the management, that is the action that they will take, and the timeline for action, you need to do follow-up. Sir, why do we need to take a follow-up? So that whatever issues were there on that, proper action is taken by the management. So tell me one thing, who is responsible for follow-up? Internal auditor is responsible for follow-up. Who is responsible for implementing the actions? Management is responsible for implementing the action plans. So this is what you need to consider. Management is responsible to implement the action plans. Chia, that is the chief internal auditor, is responsible to monitor the closure of PI. PI means prior audit issues. He is responsible to close these issues. Now, sir, how to monitor this closure? Review the follow-up action of the management. If the management has not taken the action, draw the management's attention and ascertain the reasons. Second point, if management accepted the recommendations and initiated the actions, then it is a good news. Then you should review the manner and extent of implementation. And if it is not implemented, report the recommendations which were not implemented by the management. Clear everyone? Yes, sir. Then, sir, you give a action taken report. Action taken report is my favorite report. So it talks about the previous report which discusses about the issues. On the issues, what are the actions agreed by the management? What is the status of the action? Implemented, not implemented. Then, sir, if it is not implemented, if it is not implemented, what is the residual risk or rating for unimplementation? Okay, sir. What are the findings which are not implemented for a long time? And lastly, critical findings which need immediate attention. So this is how you report. Lastly, if it is not implemented, what is the risk for unimplementation? Findings which are not implemented for long time, these points are related to unimplementation only. And lastly, critical findings which need immediate attention by the management. So just go in a flow. Issues, pay actions, status of actions. If unimplemented, give the details of the same. Okay, sir. Now please come to your notes. 2 stages reporting we have covered. Internal audit report points we have covered. Key elements of the internal audit report. Key elements are very simple, similar to the points we have covered. Scope, objective and approach of the audit assignment. Do the assignment as per standards on internal audit. What are your key observations on that the corrective actions agreed by the management? And then the nature of assurance, whether the internal controls are good or bad. Now sir, how to remember these points? We remembered it through the short sweet love story of Soa and Sia. What happened sir? Soa found key observation in Sia's nature for which she took corrective actions. Okay sir. What is SOA? SOA means scope, objective and approach. Very good. Key observations means key observations in the controls, covering all the important aspects and specific to the scope of assignment. SIA means standard on internal audit. Nature means nature of assurance to be derived from the observation, and corrective actions which are agreed by the management. So easily you can remember the 5 points. Clear? Clear, sir. Then we discuss the documentation part. Whatever is a draft or final internal audit report, documented by cross-referencing to the specific observation. Then whatever management action plans have been agreed, document the same. Then we discussed about follow-up. Take 2 sips of water and get ready. Come on, everyone. Yes, everyone, let's discuss about the follow-up. So whatever action plans management has agreed, whether they are doing it or not, for that we need to do a follow-up. So in follow-up, we also do in the real life also. If I order from Domino's and the Domino's is not delivering, what do? Sir, we do a follow-up. Where is my order? So similarly, you will ask the management, where is the action that you agreed in the prior period? So Chief Internal Auditor is responsible for monitoring the closure of PI. PI means prior audit issues through timely implementation of actions. So who will implement? Management. Responsibility to implement the action stays with the management. So internal auditor is responsible for preparing the action taken report for previous audit. Review the follow-up action of the management. If no action is taken, draw the management attention, ascertain the reason. If they have accepted the recommendation and initiated the action, then review the implementation and review the recommendation or report the recommendation not implemented. Then the action taken report. Previous report highlighting the issues. On that, the actions agreed by the management. Status of the action, implemented, not implemented. If not implemented, what is the residual risk? Not implemented for long time. Are you all there with me? Yes, sir, we are there with you. Then, sir, we move to the next topic, relation between internal and external auditor. But before this, let's do 2-3 questions from your question bank. Please come to the question bank, and in the question bank, we have question number 7. Question number 7 is a simple question which talks about the steps of internal auditor to identify the gaps. So here you need to write the steps that we just discussed, write it in a short summary form. Then we discussed question 8. XYZ Limited has appointed Mr. A to do the internal audit. Audit committee requested for a detailed report on the findings and areas which need immediate action to mitigate the risk. What should be the content of the internal audit report? So now, sir, for internal audit report, we have covered 2 topics. What are the 2 topics we have covered? First of all, we have covered the topic which is a part of reporting the internal audit issues, which talks about the basics, scope, plan covered, issues, recommendation, management action, and final report. And then we covered this part also, where we discuss things in a little more detail. Here we consider the things in a little more detail. So can I say the question is also asking a detailed report? Yes, sir. So you will write the second part of report. You will write about the second type of content. Okay. So first write about the 2-stage reporting and then talk about the content of the internal audit report. So let's see how ICAI has given the answer. First of all, they have given the reporting about two stages: assignment wise reporting, periodic reporting. Okay, sir. Then you talk about the scope covered, period covered, executive summary, summary of critical finding. Now discuss in detail. Detailed audit findings with business impact, root cause, rating of the issues, high, medium, and low. On the issues, what is your recommendation and the action plan of the management. This is how you cover. Very easy, very scoring topic from exam point of view. Clear everyone? Yes, sir. Then we move to question 9. What does the question 9 talk about? Audit committee requested Mr. A, who is the internal auditor, to give an analysis of the implementation of recommendation of previous report. When I talk about previous audit report, ki whether the actions agreed in previous report are implemented or not, this is follow-up. We are discussing about the follow-up, plus they also asked you to highlight critical areas which need immediate attention. So this is what this is covered in the action taken report. So if you see the content of action taken report, this is the last point: critical findings which need immediate attention. So this is the point you need to cover. Just write the points of follow-up. Chia is responsible for monitoring the closure of PI. Okay, sir. Management is responsible for implementing the action. Then they have written about the action taken report. Now let's see the another type of question. Question number 10. Chief Internal Auditor, you are the Chief Internal Auditor. Your staff brings to your knowledge many prior audit issues in the previous audit report which are still open. Again, can I say, since the issues are open, you need to follow up? Yes. What are your responsibility? So just write about the follow up that Chief Internal Auditor is responsible for monitoring the closure of PI. Management is responsible for implementing the action. It has a responsibility to prepare the action taken report and see the follow-up action of the management. If no action is taken, draw the management attention, consider the reason. If they accepted the recommendation, initiated the action, then review the manner of implementation. And lastly, report the recommendations which are not implemented. So sir, they have not written about the action taken report. Here they have not written about the action taken report. So I will tell you, whenever ICAI is asking about follow-up, the good way is you write both the topics. Write about the follow-up, also write about the action taken report. You can easily score full out of full marks. And the way we have linked the points, you also link it in a similar manner. Okay? Okay, sir. Then we move to the next topic. Relationship between internal and external auditor. This you just need to give it a read. It says, scope and objective depends on the size, structure of the entity and requirement of the management. Internal auditor reviews the accounting system and internal control. It not only focuses on the financial but also the operating information. So there is a lot of overlap between the internal auditor and external auditor. Both are reviewing the internal controls. Work done by internal auditor is important for external auditor because if internal auditor is effective, internal controls will be strong, risk of material misstatement will be lower. Audit committee decides the scope and functioning of internal audit. It is an obligation compulsory for external auditor to examine the scope and effectiveness of internal audit work so that he gets to know what is the risk of material misstatement. How to know how effective is internal audit work? It depends on the strength of the staff, qualifications and powers, plus the independence of internal auditor to see how effective is the internal audit. It helps you to determine the nature, timing and extent of test of control, that is compliance, and substantive procedure, that is test of details and analytical procedure. So this part you just need to give a read. That's it. Okay. Okay, sir. Then we covered the difference between internal and external audit. Sir, it is performed by a internal audit function within the organization or by an external body. External audit is always done by an independent body, not a part of the organization. It examines the operational efficiency. It examines the financial statement. It is appointed by the audit committee board of director. External auditor is appointed by the members. Internal audit report is used by the top management statutory auditor. External auditor report is used by all the types of stakeholders. Reporting is done on the operational activities of organization which are examined by internal auditor. It is reporting on the true and fair view of financial statements. Status, internal auditor can be an employee, he can't be an employee. So just remember 5 points. Appointment, user. User appointment is the main difference. Appointment means appointed by the audit committee or board. Statutory auditor is appointed by the members. User means user of the report, top management, statutory auditor, all stakeholders. S for status of the auditor, can be an employee, can't be an employee. E for examination, examines the operational efficiency. Okay, sir. He examines the financial statements. And then lastly, reporting on the operational activities, reporting on the financial statements. Easy, sir. Then comes the factors responsible for high employee attrition rate. You people tell me, why do the employees leave the company? Sir, because they are not able to maintain their work-life balance. They get a lot of stress, anxiety in their job, so they leave the company. Why the stress is there? Because of the senior. They put so much pressure, so much tension on the employees that the employees tend to leave the company. So job stress and work-life imbalance, stress is put by the senior staff. Sometimes senior are also good, but for this question, senior are bad. Now, sir, senior are so bad that we are afraid of them. Maybe our life is not safe with them. So there is a safety factor also. Now, sir, even after bearing all this, we don't get a lot of money. So there are limited opportunities for promotion, low monetary benefit, and lack of labor welfare scheme. What is all this called? Articleship. Oh, sorry. What is all this called? Factors responsible for high employee attrition rate. So these are the 6 points that you need to learn properly. SSS. SSS means stress and work-life balance, stress created by the senior, and there is a safety factor. LLL. Sir, what is LLL? Limited promotion, low monetary benefits, and lack of labor welfare scheme. Direct question given in the study material. Do it properly. Okay, sir. Now, sir, we are just left with 2 more topics. Hooray! The chapter is just about to get over. Internal audit as a management function. First of all, tell me, what do you know about management? Sir, we studied in class 12 that management is a process which helps you to do the things efficiently and effectively. Effectively means achieving the goals. Efficiently means optimum utilization of resources. Now there are 5 functions in the management. POS DC. POS DC means planning, organizing, staffing, directing and controlling. The first 4 functions of planning, organizing, staffing and directing, they help you to create and grow the wealth by doing the functions, all the activities properly. But controlling helps you to preserve the stakeholder wealth. How does it preserve the stakeholder wealth? By checking whether the resources are properly utilized or not. So it compares the actuals with the standards, and whenever there are deviations, it takes the corrective action. Can I say controlling part is done by internal auditor only? Yes, sir. So first of all, give the definition of internal auditor. Independent assurance on the effectiveness of internal control and risk management system, both go hand in hand. Okay, sir. This enhances the governance and helps the entity to achieve the objective. Now just link the internal audit with the management part. Say that internal audit is an important element of management control function. How? It helps you to develop the new processes, set up new systems and processes to mitigate the risk. Whatever are existing control, it helps to strengthen that. Strengthen means identify the gaps, areas of weak control, identify the root cause, and for that root cause, suggest the mitigating steps to strengthen the control. So these are the 2 benefits: suggesting new systems and processes. In the existing control, identify gaps, areas of weak control. Identify the root cause, and for that root cause, suggest mitigating steps to strengthen the control. And just give a conclusion. Internal audit helps the management to achieve the goals. That's it, sir. Now let's move to the next part. The next part talks about the audit trail. Come on, everyone. Are you ready? Yes, sir, we are ready. Let's discuss about the audit trail. What is an audit trail? This is the audit trail. Take 2 sips of water, then we'll cover the last topic. (8:40 a.m. SK initiated the PO. 9:15 a.m. Yes, people. BB sir approved the PO. 5 p.m. invoicing was done by Ikke Bhai Saab and SV sir, that is Siddesh Valimbe sir. At 6 p.m. he processed the payment. What is this? This is the audit trail. That means a chronology in which you understand what is done, who has done it, and at what time and date it was done it. So this is what you get to know through the audit trail. So this is what is given in your book also. Everyone please read with me. It is a visible trail of evidence for tracing the information to the original source. So if there is a problem with the invoicing, I will catch Akash sir कि invoicing is not done properly. Okay, sir. Then, sir, audit trail is a chronological record of changes to a data. Any change means creating the data, updating the data, or deleting the data. You get to know who made the change, when the change was made, and what data was changed. Now comes the important part of this topic. To demonstrate that audit trail feature was functional, operational, and not disabled, company should have specific controls. What is the list of control ICAI can ask you? They have already asked in May 24 exam. So the first point you need to take up from the question itself, that the audit trail feature is functional, operational, not disabled. So this is the first point. Audit trail feature is functional, operational, and not disabled. What should be disabled? Sir, access to the trail should be disabled or restricted. Whoever is accessing the trail, there should be a log maintained. Log means you should know who has accessed the trail and what changes he has done. Next point is related to changes only. Whenever a person accesses the trail, he makes the changes. Changes should be authorized and log should be maintained. Now, sir, log means how to know who has made the changes. There should be user IDs. User IDs for every individual, and there should be no sharing of user ID. Sharing is not caring. And lastly, take the backup. Whatever is the trail maintained, take a backup and archive as per the statutory period. So these are the 5 points. Audit trail feature functional, operational, not disabled. Access should be disabled or restricted. And whenever someone is accessing, log should be maintained. Then, sir, when person access, he makes the changes. Changes should be authorized, log should be maintained. How to know who made the changes? Sir, there are user IDs. User IDs for every individual, no sharing of user ID. And lastly, take a backup and archive as per the statutory period. Clear, everyone? Yes, sir. Now, I think we have covered almost all the case study based question of the question bank. Only one question is left. Sir, what is that question? Question number 3 of your test your understanding. Let's understand what does this question talks about. RK Living Limited is engaged in the manufacturing and processing of textile fabric. It purchases the raw material from a company based in Silvassa, taxable at 12%. It takes 3 to 4 days for the raw material to reach the company's plant. So for 3 to 4 days, the stock is in transit. Recently, the company revamped the control for recording the transaction. You have assumed the charge as a head of internal audit department for few days before. It is noticed that information system requires the booking of purchase in the purchase ledger and the stock records from the date of purchase invoice only. How will you deal with the above matter as the internal auditor of company? So tell me one thing. Let's say the date of purchase is 17th June 2025. It takes 3 to 4 days for the stock to come to the factory, and let's say the stock comes on 21st June 2025. On 17th June, I record the purchases. On 17th June, I update the stock records. Do you think the control is right? Answer is no. Why the control is not right? Because stocks have not been received. On 17th June, stocks have not been received. Stocks have been received on 21st June. So you are recording the stocks in advance. So this is a problem in the design of control. Controls are not properly designed. So how will you mention this thing? Just understand. Internal audit is nothing but an appraisal of the functioning of entity to suggest the improvements and add value and strengthen the governance mechanism, including risk management, internal control system. Basically write the definition. Whatever definition we have covered. It also involves evaluation of control so that you can give assurance regarding designing, implementation and operating effectiveness of control. In the given case, you will say it will present a distorted picture of stocks. Why? Because the goods can be in transit and you are showing them as a part of your raw material. So design of the control is faulty. Plus, it can have implications of GST law because you might take the input tax credit even when the goods are not received. So you should report the above matter to the management for corrective action. So the main point is give the definition, then say we have to comment on the design, implementation and operation. Here there is a problem of design, so report it to the management. Okay, boss? Okay, sir. So all the concepts done. All the interlinking and techniques done, and all the questions of ICAI also done in this revision. So I hope you enjoyed this revision. If you liked it, do give it a like. Let me know your feedback in the comments because your appreciation is my motivation. If you are new to this channel, do subscribe it for more such videos. And yes, let's learn with fun and rock in the coming exams. Keep going, all of you.